We're Discount Nostalgia. I'm Mike.
I'm Tom.
I'm AJ.
And I'm Eric.
1, 2, 3, 4.
I was in a band when we were from Tiffin, Ohio, and we played up here at Howard's. And then eventually I moved up here for school, and I started going to this place called the Happy Batcher, and I used to play there all the time at these open mics. And that's where I met AJ, who plays in the band. Met a lot of other cool local musicians, but eventually got mildly involved with like the Roots Club, which is on campus, and that's how I met both Eric and Mike. So yeah, we've kind of been around for a while.
That's where I come into the story. I had originally seen Tom Cataray at a Roots Club meeting, and I was a dewy-eyed young freshman boy. I was like, wow, this guy's really good at the music. He's obviously a big star. By the end of the school year, I had completely forgotten about everything. I get a Facebook message from Tom Cataray, like, hey, man, you want to jam sometime this summer? And I was like, sorry. And he never messaged me back. At the end of the summer, he finally hit me back up, and I was like, well, I have nothing left to lose anymore, so might as well.
And at that point, it was the three of us, because Tom and I had met up over the summer and ran through
Without me?
Yes. And we started playing with him, and we're like, oh, we gotta find a drummer. And we actually became to the show here at Grounds for Thought. Tom Vasey was there, and I was talking to him. I was like, oh, how's music going? Good. How's music going with you? I'm like, good. We're looking for a drummer. He goes, oh, my roommate Eric, he plays the drum. And then
the rest is history. I started playing in 8th grade. No, I lied, 5th grade. So was that like 9 years now? I don't know. Math's not my strong suit.
I've been playing music since I was 12, I guess. Maybe even younger than that.
When I was in like 6th or 7th grade, I started getting into like percussion class, and like I didn't really start taking it seriously until like I got in like a little bit of drumline stuff in high school. But I didn't really like jump into like drum set, like playing live and really owning it until just about like 2 years ago.
It was my birthday in 7th grade, 12, 13, something like that. And that's when I got my first ever guitar. Literally since like 7th grade on, music has been a very important part of my life, fluctuating in regards to where it is, but it's always been there. I guess the album came as an idea back in June?
Yeah, it was a thought in our mind in June, and it took us a little while to get down to Nashville to do it, but that's just a scheduling thing. It was actually really good because we had songs we written before that in December or November that wouldn't have been on there. That's some of my favorite songs.
We knew that we wanted to record, and that we gave ourselves a decent amount of time to like flesh out what we really wanted to be on the album and like put our most solid foot forward.
Songs for Dogs is the name of the album, and the name came from a bit of a solution to a problem that we had, because we had trouble finding a practice space, and so we went out to Tom's folks' place in Pemberville, Ohio, out in the middle of nowhere in all the right ways. We were practicing out there, and it was quiet, we had space, except for Tom's neighbors, like a quarter of a mile down the road, have probably like 16 dogs, and we get down with one of our songs, and would be, what do you guys think, questions, comments, concerns, because we're still like workshopping and working on tunes. And while we're discussing this, we hear this ovation of dog, howls. So we joked that we're playing, they were our first fans, and that, we're playing Songs for Dogs.
That's what's exciting, we got an album out, and I just think that that's the most exciting thing ever, like I wanted to die knowing that I had music out, and like it's cool that, I'll be in like my deathbed, like with my album in my hand, I'd be like, hell yeah, dude.
The studio itself was really awesome. We thought really, really appropriate for the kind of music that we make, because it's a fully analog studio down in East Nashville. It's called the Bomb Shelter. I don't know, couldn't have asked for like a better place to record with what we do sonically.
I think rock and roll is like a good category of person too, but like
emphasis on the roll part. But we do joke that it's mom rock. Yeah, we're not quite as hard rocking as like traditional dad rock, but like there's something there. It's like mom rock, man.
We kind of just combine a bunch of the things that like we really like. But, when you put them together, you
get discounted songs.
I love the Bowling Green music scene. It's It's awesome. All the local musicians here that I've met are incredibly nice, and everyone really supports each other no matter what style of music you have. Everyone's got each other's backs, which I really think is cool.
There's lots of support here. The music scene has a lot of different things, and it's not just musicians and us playing music. You know, there's artists like that actually, you know, create art.
Photographers, the videographers, you know, graphic designers. You know, everyone, the fans who come out too. It's like,
The
you know,
community,
yeah, in a weird way, we're kind of like a big old family.
There's just so much going on here for bands. There's a lot of great places to play as a young band. There's a lot of great people to surround yourself with as a young band. Like, I wouldn't want to be anywhere else because I don't know where else to get that.
I often say BG is one of the best places in the world to start a band.
Well, this is all amazing. Everybody's just contributing, but we joke, but really, it's not a joke that Connor's the fifth member of the band. I mean,
He totally is.
Last year was my first year here at Bowling Green, and I ended up randomly being roommates with a guy named Mike Stram. He ended up being one of my really great friends, and I'm hanging out with him a lot. And after getting to know him enough, I learned that he was in a band, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. Like, we should hang out with your band sometime. I love local music. I actually didn't start photographing music until last year, about mid last year. I was like, wow, concert photography is actually really fun, and especially like being able to talk to the bands afterward and be like, hey, I got some cool photos of you. Like, let me have your Instagram, and like I can share them with you. Like, it's just so much fun. I love that I can contribute to the scene that way.
I think he's been to more Discount Nostalgia gigs than I have.
He's a really cool guy, and he definitely helps us out in a lot of ways, and we can't thank him enough. So, yeah.
We love you, Connor.
He's amazing.
Yeah.
I think Discount Nostalgia is a nice, I guess could you say, like, twist on the music scene. I haven't really like heard many other bands in town that have a similar style and sound to Discount Nostalgia, and I just love their style, their stage presence. It's really funny. They're just kind of a bunch of regular old goofy guys that just kind of like to have fun and dance around on stage. Just fun time, you know.
I'm hoping, like, you know, by like this time next year, like, I don't know, like I said, the sky's the limit. It's really cool to see like that we've done these things and like the people we've met along the way, and you know, it's also cool as a fan. You know, like, I love listening to music.
At this current kind of juncture, this is new waters, and I think we're trying to make it so that it's fun the whole time, something that we all want to do. But like a good buddy of mine, Zach Morin, put it, you know, it's not necessarily, you know, I'm doing music for a living, but music for a lifestyle.
And just want to learn what it means to like do that as a life. Just us touring in general is just a cool idea. I think the goal is definitely if we could all have just the part-time life and do music more full-time would be the goal.
You know, we sometimes butt heads, but like, you know, everyone does. You know, I think the important thing is that, you know, we're doing a lot of cool stuff, and I love it, and we're all on the same page with that. And you know, I love those dudes to death. You know, I mean, all of them have different stories when it comes to my life.
I love the boys. They're some of my best friends. We like to play music together. It's been a fucking privilege to get a chance to go on this wild ride with them, and then, you know, maybe even go down an even more wild ride down the road. And you guys gave me some crazy opportunities to do some cool stuff, and, you know, thanks.
Shit, sometimes, like when we say these things out loud, they kind of like materialize in a different way. It's like, wow, I'm super happy doing all this stuff. You know, there's all kinds of different stresses and bullshit about some of this process, but then like, I love those guys. I love what we do. So yeah, I appreciate moments like these to like say these things out loud, to get out of my head for a second and be like, oh no, what we do is awesome.
You haven't checked out our album yet? I mean, it's a pretty good listen.
Right.
You know, just, yeah.
Are you trying to sell the album right now? Can that never be in the video?